Days of Our Lives, spoilers for the week of June 23rd to 27, reveal that some baby drama will worsen while Sami Brady's return looms. Brady Black will also land in a tight spot, so let's talk about what's coming up on Duel. For starters, Marlena Evans will have good reasons to fret over Rachel Black after she mutters in her sleep about the night of the shooting. It should lead to Marlena questioning Brady, so she may back him into a corner and push for the truth. Brady might admit he was already in the loop on Rachel's terrible memories, since she recalls Johnny Dimera being armed and ready against Dimera. Once Marlena gets updates, she may confront Johnny next and get his assurance that he didn't actually fire at Of course, we should also talk about Sophia Choi's baby drama, which is about to get even worse. After going into labor at her graduation ceremony, Sophia will head to the hospital with Tate Black and prepare for her baby's birth. This delivery could come with some traumatic moments for Sophia, but Tate will do whatever he can to provide support along the way. Day's spoilers say Sophia's baby will ultimately be born, but is Tate really the father? Day's writers have been offering up some clues to suggest that a newly returned Aaron Green might be the baby daddy instead. If Aaron is indeed the father of Sophia's child, he may view it as a sign that they should be a couple and raise this kid together. Aaron has already been hinting about thinking he could have been endgame with Sophia, so this could be his chance. As for Tate, he'll be stunned and outraged if Sophia's kept quiet about another father candidate all this time. That's especially true since Aaron is Tate's best friend. Tate may have some harsh words for Aaron too for not putting it all together until now. This is a huge mess that's only going to get messier, so stay tuned for news on any paternity madness that might play out. Next, Doug Williams III may deal with more concerns when it comes to Holly Jonas and Ariana Ari Horton. Since Ari and Holly have landed on the loan shark's radar, that could lead to possible kidnapping danger for them both. We should also mention Sami's looming comeback, since Allison Sweeney confirmed Sami would still come home to support Marlena over John Black's demise. It's just happening a little later than planned, due to the injuries Sydney Dimera sustained at the airport. At some point in the next week or two, Sami will come back to Salem and give Marlena the comfort she needs. That could also lead to Sami having an unexpected encounter with Kat Green, who recognized Sami's pic during a recent townhouse visit. Kat isn't sure where she knows Sami from, but things could click into place when they inevitably bump into each other down the line. There has to be a past connection here that Days plans to explore. In the meantime, Kat will grow closer to Chad Dimera, so it'll be interesting to see how long it takes them to move out of the friend zone. Days of Our Lives spoilers say Paul Narita and Andrew Donovan's wedding is coming up before long as well, so don't miss what's ahead. Days of Our Lives spoilers for Friday, June 20th, reveal that Sophia Choi, Tate Black, Holly Jonas, and Aaron Green will don their graduation attire as they prepare to officially leave high school behind. However, this event won't go according to plan since Sophia's about to go into labor. Days spoilers say Sophia will freak out over the baby's imminent arrival, but Tate will try to settle her down as they head to the hospital. Amy Choi will be part of the baby drama too, but she may add to Sophia's anxiety since that's what she normally does. Meanwhile, Brady Black will have a tense conversation with Dimera now that they both know Rachel Black saw armed Johnny Dimera the night of the shooting. The trauma of everything Rachel's been through will continue to take a toll since she'll need another trip to the hospital on Friday's Duel episode. It sounds like Rachel will complain about another stomachache, so Brady will take her for medical care to be on the safe side. Rachel will get checked out by Sarah Horton, who'll also give Marlena Evans a checkup since she's been dealing with some dizzy spells. Sarah may determine that Marlena is just exhausted by grief and prescribe more rest as a result. However, an encounter with Rachel will be just what the doctor ordered for Grandma Marlena. Since Brady will want to stick around the hospital for Tate after Sophia is brought in, Marlena will take Rachel back to the townhouse with her. Days spoilers say Rachel and Marlena will bond as they do a puzzle together. There'll be some sweet family moments, but Marlena will grow alarmed after Rachel falls asleep on the sofa and has a nightmare. Rachel will mutter in her sleep about the shooter, so Marlena will know the poor girl's being haunted by difficult memories. Back with he'll face Chanel Dupree Dimera's angry warning. Since Johnny is considering letting back in his life, Chanel may warn EJ to be on his best behavior if that happens. Chanel will also have drinks with Paulina Price and Abe Carver in honor of Juneteenth, as well as their anniversary. It won't be a very celebratory evening for Chanel since she's worried about Johnny and has been told to delay getting pregnant even further. While Chanel updates Abe and Paulina on her troubles, Tony Dimera will return to Salem and share a toast with his brothers. EJ and Chad Dimera will be on hand to give Tony a warm welcome home through some family time at the bistro. We should also mention some other days comings and goings news since Rita Leslie, Thomas Dimera, and Nurse Leslie all have appearances on the way. Days of Our Lives spoilers say multiple storylines are about to heat up, so stay tuned. At the mansion, EJ opens a Father's Day card from Sydney. His smile fades as he recalls Johnny pointing a gun at him. Johnny finds a wrapped gift at home. An already distracted Chanel grabs it and says it was supposed to be his first Father's Day gift. He tells her to keep it, promising it will happen someday. He invites her to pancakes before he goes to work, but she has to get to Sweet Bits. However, once alone, Chanel calls Felicity, reminding her she won't in until later. After Chanel has left, EJ comes to the apartment to apologize to Johnny. Johnny curtly assumes he's talking about his grandfather. As they discuss John, EJ says Johnny's more like John than he is his own father. Johnny disagrees, considering what he did that night. EJ muses that he was justified. He knows he's been trying to force Johnny into forgiveness, and it's selfish, so he's there to set him free. EJ loves him with all his heart, but sometimes loving someone means letting them go. So for Johnny's sake, he'll never bother him again, if that's what he wants. As much as Johnny hates EJ for what he did to Sami, he can't deny that he's been a good dad. They agree not always, but Johnny's always known that he's important to him. After losing Grandpa John, he's not sure he can handle another loss. EJ urges him to take his time and think it over. He'll accept whatever his answer is. At the hospital, Chanel runs into Paulina, who's there for her yearly physical. Now, she plans to speak at graduation and then celebrate her anniversary with Abe. As for Chanel, she's there for a follow-up after her cancer surgery. She didn't tell anyone, so Paulina wouldn't freak out, and Johnny wouldn't have one more thing to worry about. She also wants to ask Sarah if they can try for another baby, and she doesn't want Johnny to feel pressured. Xander finds Sarah in an empty hospital room and points out he was exonerated for Philip's assault. Sarah snidely says she's sorry, but that doesn't change anything between them. Xander scoffs. He's not there to reunite. He's there to get shared custody. Sarah will never agree to that. Then we'll do this the hard way, he says, and storms out. Belle brings Philip a smoothie at the hospital and asks him to go over his statement again. Philip sticks by his story that a random person he's never seen before beat him up. Belle doesn't believe him. She fears Xander will want to finish him off, and she can't lose one more person she cares about. Confused, Philip wonders who else she lost. After Belle tells him about John, Philip expresses how sorry he is. He blames himself for John being at that meth lab. Belle assures him it was just a terrible accident, but what happened to Philip was not. She won't give up until she proves he's lying. Later, Xander comes to Philip's room. A flashback reveals Xander warning Philip that if he turns him in, he'll lose his stake in Titan and his inheritance. In present day, Xander reminds his brother that if they don't find a way to make their relationship work, they both stand to lose everything. Philip isn't sure he can work with him. Xander earnestly apologizes, listing all the things that led up to his rage bubbling over. He deeply regrets it. Philip, in turn, apologizes for his actions. Xander's glad he told him Sarah knew about the forged letter, but she can never know Philip was the one who exposed her. In an exam room, Sarah gives Chanel the all-clear health-wise, but advises her to wait to try and have a baby. Being pregnant would make it hard for them to detect a recurrence of cancer. Waiting will give her the best chance at a successful pregnancy. As Chanel later fills in Paulina, she says she's not sure Johnny's ready anyway. However, she is glad he's taking the steps to get EJ out of their lives. When Sarah examines Philip, she asks if he told Xander she knew about the forgery. He emphatically insists it wasn't him. Xander runs into Polena in the hospital lobby. He plans to contest the board's vote on the sale of the hospital now that he's been cleared in Philip's attack. Can he count on Abe's support? This is very important to him. Polena counters that his wife and daughter are what's important. He shouldn't lose sight of that. Chanel comes home, surprised to see Johnny still there. He explains about EJ's visit. She thinks EJ setting him free is good news, but Johnny isn't sure he can lose anyone else in his life. Plus, he doesn't like who he is when he's this angry. He needs to find a way to let go of the past and let his father back into his life. Chanel stares off, distraught. In her living room, Marlena discovers wilting flowers in a vase. "I'm sorry, I can't be around any more death right now." She tearfully throws the flowers. She takes John's Yankee ball cap off a shelf and smells it. She stifles sobs and clutches it to her chest. Belle comes home and notices Marlena's tear-stained face. She embraces her mother, and they sit for tea. When Marlena asks about Belle's life, she admits she's been having second thoughts about EJ since John's death. Marlena has her own reservations about EJ, but encourages Belle to do what she wants. Marlena falters when she stands, chalking it up to getting up too quickly. When Belle leaves for work, Marlena chokes back tears. She falters again and leaves a message for Sarah to call her. At the Dimera mansion, EJ plays chess alone when Belle enters. She's realized that despite her fear and confusion, she needs to follow her heart. "I love you, EJ." EJ returns the sentiment and they kiss. At the station, Jada tells Kate over the phone that they had to drop the charges against Xander. Kate hangs up on her. Rafe comes by to pass along information on EJ's shooting. Jada is aghast to learn he planted a camera, but will overlook his breaking and entering. They need to find that memory card. As they bounce ideas off each other, Jada notes it feels like old times. Maybe in the future, they can be friends. Rafe would like that. Well, Bope fans finally got the happy ending they've been waiting for on Wednesday's Days of Our Lives, when the two remarried in an unofficial ceremony and sailed off into the sunset, quite literally. The two are taking a page from their past, having reclaimed the fancy face from Sean and leaving to sail around the world. The plan is to visit family and reconnect with each other far, far away from the drama of Salem. And after the disappointment of Beau's resurrection that led to him in a coma and Hope agonizing by his side for years, this time, it feels like the show got it right with the fans. "I loved an entire episode dedicated to Beau and Hope," Shannon Gabriel declared in the recap comments. "Their love story was so truly iconic, like John and Marlena, like Luke and Laura, and others, of course. The flashbacks were so great, and to have them sailing on Fancy Face again, I love it. I loved watching this episode," Alice C. noted. "Been waiting for Beau and Hope." "The Beau-Hope flashbacks were great," Tango agreed. "And when you look at how stunningly beautiful they both were, and the screen chemistry they had, it's clear why that couple has had such staying power. Saying goodbye to Bope is a little easier now that this cherished super couple finally got their HEA. But perhaps the most interesting part about their exit was Hope agreeing to leave, only after making Beau promise that they'll always return to Salem. Beau happily agreed, and added that he'd like to retire to the Horton home, just as Doug and Julie did. That would set them up as the next generation's heads of the family. But it would be a big ask to bring Beau and Hope back full-time to make it happen. With that said, they've got time to work it out. Julie's not going anywhere, and there's no rush to cut Beau and Hope's world trip short. Heck, they just left for it. And if they do follow in Tom and Alice and Doug and Julie's footsteps, this would mean coming home, settled and married. No more breakups, no more divorces. A true happily ever after. But now that they've promised us this, all we can say is the show needs to follow through. Someday, sometime, Beau and Hope need to come home, move into the Horton house, and continue their family legacy for the coming generations. Days of Our Lives spoilers for the week of June 23, 2025, suggest lots of twists and turns. Fans can expect Brady Black to face an impossible situation. Meanwhile, Sophia Choi and Tate Black's baby drama will continue. Keep reading, and let's talk about what is coming up in the Peacock soap opera. While sleeping on the couch at Marlena Evans's penthouse, Rachel Black starts talking in her sleep. The psychiatrist immediately puts down her book over what the little girl is saying in her sleep. Rachel talks about a gun, which, of course, will send alarm bells through Marlena's body. Brady and Kristen Dimera already know why Rachel is having these dreams. Marlena will mention it to Brady, who will scramble to come up with a cover story. I could see him claiming that Rachel has been watching scary movies or something like that. Marlena probably won't be convinced, but she is a tad fixated on her grief over John Black. The other possibility is that Brady opens up to Marlena about Johnny Dimera. If Marlena finds out that Johnny was the one pointing the gun at E.J. Dimera, she could confront her grandson herself. Days of Our Lives. Spoilers for the week of June 23rd reveal that Sophia and Tate will continue to have baby drama. During their high school graduation, Sophia goes into labor. As the teens rush to the hospital, there could be some more surprises. I find Aaron Green's previous exit and sudden return interesting. It's the timing of it all, and he still could be Sophia's baby daddy. Next week, fans will also see more complications in Doug Williams III's love life. Doug and Holly Jonas are friends, but there's also some romantic chemistry brewing. Then, Doug slept with Ari Horton, not realizing that she was actually friends with Holly. Even messier than that, Ari is also related to Holly's ex-boyfriend, Tate. Doug keeps trying to slip away whenever the girls are together. However, Doug is going to get busted at some point. There are also the loan sharks that are targeting Doug, Ari, and Holly. Even though Leo Stark agreed to give Doug $1,000, it might not be enough. If Doug can't come up with enough cash, then something terrible could happen to Ari and Holly. It is also teased that in the next few weeks, Sami Brady could make a return. Sami couldn't make it to John's funeral, but she will want to pay her respects at some point, so stay tuned. Which storyline are you looking forward to seeing the most during the week of June 23, 2025? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. Remember to keep watching the soap on Peacock to find out what is coming up next. Days of Our Lives fans were reeling recently when actor Patrick Muldoon, who originated the Austin Reed character, popped on the soap's Instagram handle in a video that seemed to hint he was returning to storylines. Still, there is far more to this story than meets the eye. As it turns out, Muldoon had returned to the soap, but only to the studio to give a tour to a friend. According to Soap Opera Digest, the soap clarified that the actor would not be making an on-screen comeback. Apparently, the IG video was some tongue-in-cheek humor. In the video, Muldoon can be seen walking through a brown door that has the words Studio 4 on it. As he mutters Studio 4 in the clip, he checks the sign, snaps his fingers, and then says, "It's gotta be. Is it Studio 2? Muldoon proceeds to look at the camera and states, "I just got off the 101 South in Burbank and Studio 2 and 4. Muldoon seemingly has a light bulb moment when he exclaims, "Oh my God, I'm in Salem." The video ends with the actor smiling as he walks off saying, "Oh, it's good to be back." The caption on the IG post read, "Who is that wandering around Salem? And why? Dual #days. #days of 4 lives." Muldoon debuted as Austin in 1992 and would leave the show in 1995. He also returned for a short stint from 2011 to 2012. The show recast the character, and Austin Peck entered the part in 1995, playing Austin Reed until 2006, and again in 2017 to 2021. Unfortunately, it's been over a decade since Muldoon played Austin Reed, the son of Kate Roberts Brady, and about 4 years since the character has been in Salem. In fact, Carrie Brady recently returned to be by John Black's side during his final days in the little town, and for his memorial, Austin stayed back due to their son, Noah Reed's, graduation. Are you sad Patrick Muldoon is not returning to the show? Join the conversation below, watch your favorite soap on Peacock daily, and check out this regularly for the hottest Days of Our Lives news and spoilers. Days of Our Lives, spoilers for Thursday, June 19th, indicate some interesting moments in the land of Salem. Someone is sticking to an odd story, while another is straightforward with a loved one, and a character offers comfort to a grieving loved one. What's set to unravel on Thursday's show? Time to find out. The good news is that Philip finally woke up from his coma after his brutal beatdown at the hands of his brother, Xander Kyriakis. However, the bad news is, he's telling everyone Xander didn't do it. Is Philip covering up for Xander, or does he genuinely not remember? Speaking of Xant, he'll make his intentions clear to Sarah Kyriakis. Is this about Victoria Kyriakis and possible custody? The two have been fighting relentlessly over their daughter since the truth came out about Sarah's knowledge of Philip's forged letter. Across town, Dimera will be a straight shooter when he has a no-nonsense talk with Johnny Dimera. Will he tell his son about Rachel Black's recollection of the night he was shot and his son's role in it all? Meanwhile, Chanel Dimera will lean on her mom, Paulina Price. With Sophia Choi's due date looming and no adoptive parents in sight, will Chanel hope there's a small chance she and Johnny could still adopt the child? Lastly, Days of Our Lives. Spoilers for Thursday suggest that Belle Black will comfort Marlena Evans. Marlena has an uphill battle in front of her as she learns to navigate through life without her love and best friend, John Black. Grief has no set timeline, so Marlena's lucky to have her children and loved ones by her side. Are you excited about Thursday's show? Join the conversation below. Watch your favorite soap on Peacock daily and check out SOS regularly for the hottest Days of Our Lives news and spoilers. Now that Beau's back on Days of Our Lives, he can look ahead to his renewed life with hope and what the future brings. Although this visit from Beau and Hope is going to be short-lived once again, Raquel had previously expressed an interest in returning to the series as a regular. Until that happens, which will cause fans to jump for joy, the actor keeps giving his performances their all. He recently opened up about what's going on with Beau and the losses both on and off screen that he's endured. Raquel took some time to talk to Soap Opera Digest about how, in this return, Beau had to wrap his head around all the changes in Salem. Plus, he had to tackle Sean's guilt over shooting him and returning to normal with Hope. He explained, "It was very impactful and the kind of stuff that I love jumping into." He also explained that since he wasn't working for the 2 years that Beau was in a coma, he watched many things occur that he wasn't involved in, and it was disheartening. It was kind of heartbreaking to watch it happen and not be there, especially for people that I loved so dearly like John, Aniston, ex-Victor, and Bill, Hayes, ex-Doug, and Peggy McKay, ex-Caroline, he explained. He remarked that while the writers had Beau touch upon the many losses that occurred in his absence, it was excellent writing. However, he stated that for him in the real world, it was just heartbreaking. The actor explained that he was aware of story patterns, likening Beau's coma to the time Hope thought she was Princess Gina. Both stories were a slow burn to completion, and he loved playing Beau acting nefarious under Megan Hathaway's control in 23. Ultimately, Raquel stated that the drama that Beau had to tackle was the stuff actors dream about. He noted, "Having to say goodbye to your character relationships as well as your personal relationships, like with Drake, Hoguston x John, it really takes a lot out of you." In the Thursday, June 19th episode of Days of Our Lives, a devastated Marlena continues to grieve for John. Is she going to be okay? Belle makes a declaration to EJ. Meanwhile, EJ puts the power to save their relationship in Johnny's hands. Rafe finally tells Jada about the drive he planted at EJ's. Chanel suffers another setback when she's told she should wait even longer to get pregnant. And Xander apologizes to Philip. Were his words sincere? As suspected, Xander struck a quick deal with Philip before the cops questioned him. Keep his name out of the brutal attack, and Philip won't get tagged for fraud. And that's exactly what Philip has been doing ever since. It doesn't matter that everyone knows that Xander was the one to attack him. Xander can now lord this mistaken arrest over Sarah and attempt to reverse EJ's purchase of the hospital. However, Xander did sit down and properly apologize for the vicious beatdown he gave his half-brother. Philip felt the sincerity, although he wasn't sure he could work with the man who pummeled him mercilessly. And now they're continuing the lies. Philip apologized for being the one to tell Xander that Sarah knew about the fraud. Xander said he was glad that Philip told him. In addition, He warned Philip that he can't tell anyone that he ratted Sarah out because that would place him in his hotel room, and then both would end up behind bars, Xander for the beating and Philip for the fraud. The lies are downright exhausting. Sarah already put Philip on the spot and asked him if he was the one to rat her out, and he lied and said he wasn't. So, Xander is now keeping a lie from Sarah after she kept one from him. In other news, EJ visited Johnny and told him that he would walk away from him if he wanted, because he knows his presence in his life hurts Johnny. Johnny didn't know if that's what he wanted. EJ said he will give Johnny the time to figure out what he wanted to do, cut him out permanently, or stay in each other's lives. In the middle of this conversation, Johnny said, "We both know what I did that night." Is this Johnny's way of admitting to shooting EJ, or is this just about his threatening to shoot EJ? When will the show reveal the truth? Beau Brady's miraculous salvation from the brink of death and reunion with his soulmate Hope was the ultimate love letter to Days of Our Lives fans. Absolutely no stone was left unturned during the short but sweet story arc that gave the Salem super couple and their devoted fanbase the happy ending they rightly deserved. It had been 2 long years since viewers witnessed Sean shoot Beau on a mountaintop in Greece, fearing his father was about to kill his mother Hope. Left lingering in a coma since that fateful day, all viewers could do was pray that one day Beau would wake up. Sadly, things got worse before they got better when Beau contracted sepsis and was near death. A heartbroken Hope sat at Beau's bedside, where she was joined by her daughter, Sierra. It was the first step in a series of beautiful moments, including Konefal sharing her first scenes with Rekel, praying for her TV dad to wake up, and reflecting on their past as father and daughter. Back in Salem, Steve, Sean, and John broke into a lab, where the May were joined by Hope, to steal a wonder drug that could possibly save Beau. The drug was retrieved by John, who ended up seriously burned when the lab suddenly blew up. While John was rushed to the hospital, Hope and Sean headed to Greece with the drug. Shortly after the drug was administered to Beau, he regained consciousness. And in another perfect moment, the first person he saw when he opened his eyes was his beloved fancy face. The show's writers continued to give viewers everything that they'd been waiting to see for 2 years. Hope and Beau reunited, Kiera expressed her love to her dad, and Sean apologized for shooting his father. Beautiful family moments followed, some sad, some happy. Hope, Sean, and Sierra had to break the news that Victor and Doug had died, but then Beau got to meet his new grandchildren, Kiera's son and his namesake Beau, and daughter, Addie. Sadly, while Beau's family was celebrating a life saved in Greece, John's family was grieving his death back in Salem. It was a beautiful juxtaposition of life and death, triumph and tragedy. And it allowed John, who had been played by the late Drake Hogestyn, to go out a hero exactly as he deserved. Days of Our Lives spoilers for Friday, June 20th, find Sarah wondering if she's really got it all under control, and what might go wrong any second. Sarah is not the most mentally stable of people. Sure, she's a doctor, but she also has a tendency to make rash decisions, act before she thinks, and lie about babies. There was also that period when she thought she was Renee Demond. Which wasn't all her fault. She was brainwashed. But still, a checkup every once in a while would not be amiss, especially as she struggled to deal with a husband who she knows is violent, but who still wants access to their baby. That's where Marlena comes in. It's high school graduation time in Salem. It's time to celebrate for the entire teen scene, including Sophia and Aaron. Though thus you're not exactly in the most festive of moods, Sophia and Tate still have a baby to put up for adoption. Aaron's brother is in prison. And Holly is bummed because her ex ratted out the guy she kind of likes for being a thief. That's rough, Halls. But maybe you won't get into a contest with people who have real problems. While Brady challenges EJ over what he's recently learned, Chanel turns to Paulina and Abe for support with Johnny's ongoing doldrums. His secrets are affecting both the Price, Carver, and Dimera families, and it might take both of them to snap him out of it. Days of Our Lives spoilers photos for the June 20th, 2025 episode tease the day we've all been waiting for in Sophia's and Tate's lives. It all may start at the Dimera mansion, when Brady's run-in with EJ ends with needing to take Rachel back to the hospital. It's unclear whether this is another emergency visit or simply a checkup, but the pair will run into Marlena after her checkup with Sarah. Meanwhile, it looks like Sophia will be brought in, presumably in labor. Tate and Amy will be there to coach Sophia through it, and Tate will even run into his dad there. When Rachel is seen by Sarah, it looks like she may be called away to tend to Sophia. Later, Rachel and Marlena will work through their grief with a puzzle, while Chanel comes face to face with EJ.